can start. It was a very long day yesterday, and we hope that you enjoyed it being with us. And we would like to continue today. I would like to invite our director, chairman and director, Engineer Munqeth Mehyar, to speak and to give his welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. I'm not the chairman. Might be president, but not the chairman indeed. Boker Tov, Sabah al Khair, good morning. Before I start, I would like to ask our dear attendees to close their phones or at least put it on silent. It was a complaint of yesterday's sessions. And also, before I start my official speech, and I do need to write down things so I don't take too much time, but I must express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the speakers of yesterday. It was so inspiring. All of them, really. From the ministers, to the mayor of Haifa, to our dear chairman, who took us thousands of years back just to tell us and to bring it to our minds that we are people together, we are the same. We share the same happiness, sadness, wealth, and everything, so we need to stay together. Now, back to my speech, so I don't take too much of your time this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests and experts from Israel, Palestine, Jordan, and from the world. We welcome you to your second home and country, Jordan. I have come here to tell this great audience that the people of Jordan Basin desperately desire the peace of the brave. The peace of the brave that was started by great men, the late King Hussein, late Rabin, and late President Arafat. Unfortunately, they all passed away and left us with a great legacy that we need to follow their footsteps on, which is the peace treaty in 1994. An essential aspect of that peace of the brave must involve a fair share of water between the people of the basin and between people and nature. And that is very important. Despite the fact that we heard His Excellency yesterday talking about the Jordan River, it's not so important to think about it and rehabilitate it. But I think it is important. Because without nature, man cannot survive. And that's a fact we all know, I think. But since we work closely with politicians, and politicians have a certain goal to satisfy their electoral base, I think we need to compromise with them. And that's what we are doing. So EcoPeace is not your everyday environmental organization, tree huggers and dreamers. We are very much on the ground, and we share your problems and the problems of the governments also. The Jordan Basin is at the crossroad of a cultural heritage, with the Jordan River holy to half humanity, Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. Sadly, today, the lower Jordan River is almost dry. Of the 1.3 billion cubic meter of water that historically would annually flow down the river to replenish the Dead Sea, over 90% of its water resources diverted by Israel, Syria, and Jordan, respectively in that order. Competition of scarce water resources in the midst of a conflict allowed little room to think about the needs of the river itself. Occupation, economic needs, and cultural beliefs of conquering nature by making the desert bloom was the prevalent ideology. In place of fresh water, Israel, Jordan, and Palestine sewage diverted saline springs and agricultural runoffs are most what is flown into the river today. Since 1948, the river valley is a military border zone of limited to the public. Against all the odds, over the last decades, awareness of the demise of the river has slowly grown, with calls for restoration in recent years loudly being made. Since 2001 at EcoPeace Middle East, we have been working at the community level with youth, adults, residents, and mayors of or from Jordan, Palestine, and Israel communities along the basin. As part of EcoPeace Middle East efforts to advocate for the rehabilitation of the river and development of surrounding valley, we have partnered with Stockholm International Water Institute, SIWI, and the Global Nature Fund to devise a proposed master plan for sustainable development in the Jordan Valley. And we heard His Excellency Hazem talking about this master plan, that it was accepted by the Jordanian government and pushed forward, considering it a good skeleton to work on. The master plan was released in June 2015, following 3 years of joint Israeli-Palestinian Are we okay? Okay. You can hear me? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Some IT people playing with the laptops. Yeah. The master plan was released in June 2015, following 3 years of joint Israeli, Palestinian, and Jordanian EU-funded research led by an international Royal Haskani DHV engineering consultancy firm. It compromises national plan for the Jordanian and Palestinian sections of the valley, incorporates a government-led Israeli master plan currently underway that together create the first ever regional plan for the valley. The master plan was developed around 7 strategic objectives: pollution control, sustainable water management and river rehabilitation, sustainable agriculture, Jordan River Basin governance, ecological rehabilitation, sustainable tourism and cultural heritage development, urban and infrastructure development. Under each strategic objective, a number of intervention projects have been identified. Ultimately, if all the interventions identified in the master plan were to be implemented, then by 2050, and that is not a dream, 2050 is around the corner. For you young guys, it's not too far. We know that. By 2050, the Jordan Valley will be a cooperative, confident, and peaceful region with a healthy economic and strong development perspective for the people living here. They will experience a clean and healthy environment and sufficient flow in the Jordan River to sustain healthy ecosystem. At the same time, the river will act as a natural water conveyor and a source for water supply in the Jordan Valley. Water will be equitably shared among the three riparian countries, and the valley will be freely accessible for all nationalities within an appropriate security framework. In order to achieve implementation of the identified intervention in the master plan, a governance structure must be in place. Therefore, EcoPeace hired Siwi again to prepare a report regarding basin governance structure for transboundary water management in the Jordan Basin. Siwi will be presenting the report to us today with the different management models. This will be the first step for all authorities, stakeholders, and experts to determine which governance structure works best for the Jordan River Basin. More generally, with each nation working both independently and interdependently, through the regional master plan, the Jordan River Valley can be a place of peace once more. With respect for nature, demonstrating our own self-respect and respect for others, hundreds of thousands of people's lives will be transformed for the better, with adequate sanitation and water supplies and sufficient water for sustainable economical development, as well as treasured site for outstanding natural beauty and importance to our human heritage being restored for the global good. By this, I end my speech, and I truly wish that this conference will add to your knowledge and will be a catalyst for you to go out there and make a difference. EcoPeace, like we heard it from Gidon and others, does not accept the status quo. We are an organization of change, a change towards the future, which is supposed to be a good change for all. Thank you very much for listening, and wish you a good conference.